channel and welcome back to my top 5 series. So I'm sure you guys already know, but I'm doing this with my friend Valerie from Blush Diaries. I will link her channel down below, but we are going through every single category of makeup and sharing with you guys our top 5. So this week we started eye products and I'm going to continue that on with eye palettes. So this was so hard for me because first of all, we didn't include single eyeshadows, so things like, you know, Makeup Geek or Makeup Forever or MAC where you have like the little individual, no, none of that. These are like pre-put together palettes and I have so many of those, but I really do only use a couple of them religiously, and I wanted to make sure I didn't include any limited edition palettes first of all, and I didn't want to include any like new palettes because how can you call those your top 5, right? They're brand new, so how do you know you love them? So I picked out 5 products that are not limited edition that I have been loving for at least 6 months, and these are definitely my top 5. So it looks like these are all neutral palettes. Whoops, I guess I'm kind of boring. But the first one is probably my top favorite of all of them. This is the Too Faced Natural Matte Palette. I did get this year, and I was hesitant to throw this in my top 5 because it is kind of newer, but I've used this to death, guys. I've almost hit pan on some of the colors. That is how much I love it. So this is an entirely matte palette, all matte colors, and this is basically their natural palette, but in matte form. So if you have their natural palette, imagine that, but 100% matte colors. And I think I tend to lean towards matte colors more than shimmer colors because they're more flattering for everyday wear. I love shimmers and sparkles, don't get me wrong, but I think those are more suited for like going out or even filming. Matte is better for like a professional environment, in my opinion. So this one you can wear by itself, you can mix it with other colors, you can get an entire eye look with this. You have your highlights, you have your crease colors, you have your intensifying colors. It is just perfect. On top of that, the formula is very buttery and very smooth and like highly pigmented, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Next one is the Urban Decay Naked Palette. This is Naked 1. So this was, I think, my first eyeshadow palette that I ever purchased like years and years ago. I think like 5 or 6 years ago when this first came out. This is the first edition, by the way. The one that came with an eyeliner. It came with an eyeliner. It didn't come with a brush like they do now. So that is how old this is. But anyways, this is, I think, the perfect all-inclusive palette. You have your shimmers, you have your mattes, you have your taupes, you have your warm colors. It's mostly warm colors, but you do have some grays in there as well. I used up 2 pans entirely. I've hit pan on a 3rd one. I love this palette. It's definitely very travel friendly, so it's in this like velvet package. It's very skinny. You can just throw it in your bag. It's like, it's the best. And I do have one gripe. I wish there was more mattes. There's only 2 matte colors in here. Yeah, and one of them I've used completely up. The other one I've almost hit pan on. So I do wish they had more matte colors in here, but my favorite eyeshadow of all time, Sin, was in this palette. As you can see, mine is gone. But this is just the best all-inclusive palette. If you are just getting into makeup and you want something really like prestigious but all-inclusive, definitely go for the regular like first Naked palette. It is the best by far, and the formula is just so smooth and so buttery and very long lasting. So it's a good one. Alright, my next top 5 favorite is the Marc Jacobs Lolita palette. This is probably my most expensive palette that I own. I think it was like $70 or $80, which is insane. I know, that's insane. And there's only 7 colors in it. So it looks like this. It reminds me a lot of like watercolor palettes that I would use as a kid, which is kind of cool. But the packaging is so like sleek and just like classy looking, I think. So you pop it open and it looks like this. So there's 7 colors in here. But this, I find every time I rediscover it from my stash, I use it like exclusively for an entire month because it's that good. You can get an entire eye look out of this one palette. It's a very good mixture of mattes and shimmers. So there's 3 mattes and 4 shimmers, and one of them has like chunky sparkly glitter in it, the one right in the middle. That's probably my least favorite of the entire palette just because there's a lot of fallout with that particular one, but the other ones don't have a lot of fallout and they're perfect. So you have your matte highlight, your crease color, your matte intensifying color, your shimmery highlight, your coppery kind of crease color, and then your shimmery intensifying color. It is just perfect. And what I love about this, the formula is not creamy but powdery to the point where it's very blendable. Like they blend together very, very well. And it's just nice to have one palette you can reach to and you know you can get an entire eye look. You can do exclusively mattes, exclusively shimmers, and you don't have to go and like dig through a bunch of single eyeshadows also. Number 4 is the regular Lorac Pro Palette. So this is, oopsie, the little plastic part of it fell out. This is similar to the Urban Decay Naked palette. I know people compare the two all the time, but they're similar yet different. So what I like about the Lorac Pro Palette is you have an entire row of mattes and an entire row of shimmers, and they kind of coordinate with each other. So you have like the matte version of the shimmery color that's right below it, and so on and so forth all the way down the line from really light colors to really dark colors. So this is, I feel like I keep saying this about all of these palettes, but it's an entire all-inclusive palette. If I was traveling and I wanted to have a wide variety of day looks and night looks all in the same palette, I would definitely just grab this one palette and take it with me. It's very slim and slender. It has mirrors, so it's very like travel friendly. You can get a really deep dark smoky eye with these colors over here, and you can get a really day appropriate, work appropriate color with this side of the palette. So I really like it. Plus Lorac powders are some of my favorite. They're very soft and creamy and very blendable. They can have some fallout if you're not careful. That's the one downside to all Lorac powders. So you have to be a little bit careful and kind of like tap your brush, but these are great. And I don't know why I don't use this more. I feel like I need to pull it out of my drawers here and keep it in my vanity, so I use it more often. Last palette is another Too Faced palette. I think Too Faced is probably my favorite eyeshadow brand. Yeah, I would have to say if I had to pick one favorite eyeshadow brand, it would be Too Faced. This is their chocolate bar, semi-sweet chocolate bar palette, so this is the second version. This palette finally introduces some color, first of all, so I guess I did have a little bit of color, but this palette smells like chocolate. It kind of makes me hungry when I'm applying it to my eyes. It smells like chocolate. It has a great variety of mattes and shimmers and like colors that I wouldn't normally use. So like this color peanut butter right here is like totally different. I don't have anything like that in any other palette. It's like a terracotta, like brownish. You can use it as a crease color. You can use it as an intensifying color. It's just, there's colors in this palette that push me out of my comfort zone, and that's what I like so much about it. I also like that Too Faced is very ingenious and they make the bigger pans the colors that you probably would use more of anyways, so I like that about Too Faced. They also have a matte black, which is great for eyeliner. Like if you're traveling and you forgot an eyeliner, it's perfect for eyeliner. This palette is just, I was so much more happy with this one than the regular chocolate bar palette because again, the colors push me out of my comfort zone. There's some warms, there's some cools, there's some taupes, there's some browns. It's just kind of like a smorgasbord, the right word, of just amazing shadows. Plus, of course, the powder is exactly the same as the matte one, where they're nice and creamy and buttery and blendable, and bonus, they smell like chocolate. Alright guys, well now that I am covered in eyeshadow, like all over the place, even my legs are covered in eyeshadow, those are my top 5 favorite eyeshadow palettes. Let me know down below what your favorite eyeshadow palettes are. I might even have them. I have a lot of limited edition favorites, but I didn't want to show those to you. Also, make sure you check out Valerie's top 5 palettes. I will link her video down below. And thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!